Hello, and welcome to Preparing to Survive and Thrive Homesteading channel with Charlie B. So, what am I up to today? I always ask you that, don't I? Well, today I'm going to actually be canning some blueberries. Now, these are not fresh blueberries. I was given a bunch of bags of frozen blueberries. That's the bags. They are completely just strictly frozen blueberries. No sugars, no citric acid, nothing in there. It says on the back they were high bush blueberries, 100%. So awesome. What I did was I took one of these bags and one of these, and I strained out the juice to begin with. I cut just a small little hole in the end, just so it could dry, to pour out, and drained it off. And this is what I ended up with. Yep. So I'm going to actually also can this and then maybe cook it down for some syrup. There is a little bit of juice in the blueberries still, but let me show you those. It'd be better to just show you those instead of trying to explain it. So hang on, we'll be right there. Now these blueberries are really sweet in themselves. I've been tasting them. Now I just filled this one up, so I'm actually pushing these down so my hands are actually going to turn purple again. What I'm doing is I'm not adding sugar or anything. Each jar of these has a bag in them, and it's 2.5 pounds. I made a pie out of one of the frozen bags, and the pie was absolutely delicious. I will do another video, probably using some of the canned, or I still have some frozen, so maybe I'll use those to get them out of the fridge. It'll be a surprise. But I pushed them down so one bag would fit into the jar. Now with this, just how I can everything. No sugar, no nothing, no water. Some of the juice did get smushed in there whenever I smushed them out. So this will add some more juice too whenever we go to make pie filling out of this. Now, I really thought long and hard whether or not I wanted to add sugar and make these into pie fillings right away, but I really think there's a lot more things I can do with blueberries other than just make pies. I could add the blueberries themselves to a muffin mix. Oh, shit, Callie, down. Sorry about that. No, I'm not going to edit that. That happens sometimes. I'm going to wipe off the jars again because she jumped up there. Yes, that happens. Now, what was I saying? So, I decided not to make these all into pie fillings because I can use them for muffin mix. I also, if I decide to, I could break them down, and I like to take angel food cake and kind of make a syrupy, but not overly sweet, peaches or berries and stuff like that, and just kind of ladle it over angel food cake or a white cake, something like that, and that is absolutely amazing. Now, I wiped off all the jars again, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm using my Tatler lids today strictly for these, praying that they're going to all seal, and I am going to be using my steam canner, which if you've seen any of my other videos, if you haven't, please take a look at them. There's a lot of different things I've steam canned. But my Tatler, you've got the white lid, you've got the seal, the gasket, whatever you want to call it. Just put those together. You set it on there. Now, the trick with Tatler is you do not finger tight them. You just lightly screw them on like this. You put one or two fingers there, and you just turn them. And then whenever they stop turning, the jar itself will start spinning. So there you go. I'm going to go ahead and get these jarred up. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead. Yes, put my hand in front of you. I am going to take my other mason jar, and I am going to fill it up with just the juice. And hopefully all this juice will fit into one jar. If not, I might use it to cook with. Throw it in a cake or something. I do love to bake. going to use this as a for a wide mouth instead of the small mouth jar, and then it's kind of got them separated. Now that the bubbles are dying down, I'm going to add a little bit more. Okay. Now I'm not going to waste this, so I'm going to go ahead and pour it in here. So I'll go ahead and open this up and go ahead and redo that one also. I was hoping all that juice would fit in there, but hey, it didn't, so that's all right. But nothing is going to waste. Everything is being used. And this is going to be very good. Now, the juice, I will actually probably try to make some syrup out of this juice, because I love syrup, and I might go ahead and cook down some more of the blueberries and make a syrup or some blueberry jam. I haven't decided, but I can do anything with the ones I have in the freezer, but these had to come out of the refrigerator. So let me get these all lidded up again, and I'll take you over to the steam canner. And we have our jars sitting here in the steam canner. Now, I have to get these up to, it's called altitude canning. I just found that out the other day. I have to get it up to the line. This dark green line right here is kind of like a pressure, but it's also an altitude thing. So hopefully you can see that. I try to always make it so you can, but it doesn't always work out so well. But there, maybe you can see that one better. Okay, has to get up to the dark green line. It's the one that's the furthest up top. Okay, so hopefully you saw that. But I put my 2.5 quarts of water in here, and now I'm just going to kind of finagle this one. Might be nice if I move the teapot out of the way. And there we have it. Turn this a little bit so I can actually see when it's up to that green line. Got it good and tight. I got the burner on. I actually kind of started off on medium heat. And that's perfect. This is a big burner, so it doesn't have to be clear up on high. So nothing went to waste. I managed to use these. And with that being said, is if you come across a really good deal, or somebody's giving away frozen veggies or fruits, and you don't have room in your freezer, you can always can them, freeze dry them, or even dehydrate them and powder them. You can do a multiple things. With groceries being so horribly expensive, as I was saying, with groceries being so horribly expensive, if somebody is giving away something and it's still good and usable, take it, can it, do something with it, cook it right away, whatever you need to do, anything to help save you money, which in the end will also help you preserve your food and store more food away for the upcoming winter or an upcoming hard time, whatever the case may be. So we will come back when this little guy is ready to be taken off, and I'll show you how they look, and let's cross our fingers and that everything will seal. I'll be seeing you soon. Well, we are back. I steam canned this for 20 minutes, and these are the blueberries, of course. And then I turned off the heat and let it sit, covered up. The lid's still on it, and the lid is tight for another 5 minutes. That's what the directions are. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. Now, when you pull off this cover, please pull it off towards the wall. Do not pull it towards your face. There we go. I think we got a little bit of it popped out, but what we're going to do is we're going to leave this sit in here for a few minutes and let it cool down. And then whenever I start pulling these guys out and they stop bubbling, I'm going to show you how to tighten the lids the rest of the way with the Tatler. Be back in a few. Well, they're out of the steam canner and they're sitting here. They were bubbling slightly when I pulled them out, so the bubbling's pretty much died down. It's been between 5 and 7 minutes, so there's hardly no bubbling at all. What I'm going to do is probably stain a dish towel, but I'm going to move this one out of the way, and I'm going to grab this Tatler jar. I'm going to put it on a pot holder or to keep your hand from getting burnt. And I'm going to grab the jar up with this hand. I'm going to set it on the pot holder. You see it there? Now this jar is very hot, so I'm going to literally finish tightening the lid. So before, remember, I didn't even finger tight it. Now it is finger tight. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to all the jars. And we will be back in about 24 hours. And we'll see how many of these guys have sealed, and they are very hot. And hopefully we'll be making something with them when it's cold and snowy out this winter. So what are we up to today? Well, we are going to be canning some almost ready-made pie filling, but we're going to leave out some of the ingredients. And I will make a pie with you in later videos so you can see that. But today we will be doing cherry and strawberry whole tart cherries and whole strawberries, and they really taste amazing without anything on them. But come along, let me bring you down and I'll show you what I've been doing. Okay, so these are the cherries that I'm using. They were frozen and they were given to me. I have a case, 12 of them, so I'm going to end up with 12 jars. Now these will be pretty much smashed of what I've been doing. I'm going to get my scissors here. I'm just cutting the bottom out and letting the juice drain, because if I don't, I won't get all these in here and I'll make a very big mess in the canner. I am steam canning these for 20 minutes, just like I would be water bathing them, and they are in quart jars. I'm just taking these out. As I go, I'm kind of squeezing the bag to get some of the juice out. So my hands might actually end up being red by the time this video and I'm done canning these. I've already got the first set in the canner, and it is starting to do its countdown because it's been in for 20 minutes. And I'm going to end up with a lot of juice. I'm going to go ahead and can that also, and then eventually pull it out and make some nice cherry jelly or syrup. I do like syrup even better than I like jelly. I'm not going to lie to you. So I'm pushing these down now. Yes, they're going to be smashed and they're going to be a little messy. That's all right, because when you cut a cherry pie, it doesn't matter if the cherries are whole or not. Just as long as I need a whole container of these to fit into the jar, because that will make one good pie. I also put 1/4 cup in the bottom of the jar. And let me bring you over here. I've already started this one, but this is going to drain a little bit. Let me show you what I've been doing with the jars as I go. Sorry for all the noise in the background. I have so many things going on right now. Okay, as I had said, I put in 1/4 cup of sugar in each jar, and they're quart jars. So they're just sitting there waiting for me to fill them. Now, I probably will not do that with the juice, because I really don't need to add sugar to this. But I'm pushing these in, and I'm pushing them down through and trying to push them into the jar. So these will have a little bit of sugar in them, and most pie recipes calls for about 1/2 cup. I will label these as only having 1/4 cup in it. So there we go. I pulled it out. I'm going to set this on the next jar to be filled. Okay, so there you go. It doesn't matter if they're not perfectly here, because they will come up, and some of them probably will siphon out. But that's all right. Yep, there is my little robot cleaner. He's working hard today, or she is. Her name is Mophead. But we'll be back when we get to cleaning the jars and putting the lids on them. So this is the first batch out. This was the one that was really shrunk. What's going to be amazing though, when these guys really cool down, they'll start to also drop. But what I want to show you is we definitely have to watch ourselves when we're tightening these jars. They're very, very hot. So I'm going to pull this up and set this on top of my hand that's also got a towel around it. And I'm going to get this picked up. Hopefully turn it enough and I can tighten the jar. Now you do this about 5 minutes after the bubbling stops and they're out of the steam canner or pressure canner. So I'm going to go ahead and get these finished, and we will definitely bring you back when we get all these done and check to see if they're sealed. And here are the cherries and cherry juice and the strawberries. Now, the strawberries, I really didn't like how they turned out. They kind of looked like they turned white. Yeah, they don't look very good, so I'm going to have to figure out what to do with them, hide them in something. Maybe I'll go ahead and just mush them up and make jelly out of them. But the cherries look absolutely amazing. Well, there you have it. So we've got some strawberries and cherries put up in our stores so we can make cakes, pies, jams, jellies out of them. We can turn them into whatever. The sky's the limit. So remember, well, I'm sure canning some other stuff, even though winter is coming. But remember to like, share, and subscribe. And Charlie B signing out, and I'll be seeing you soon. Click off.